Hi, Michael Fry, President and CEO of Deepwater Subsea. On this episode of The Daily Grind, we're going to talk about your professionalism and the quality of work that you do in the workplace. More importantly, what is the reputation that you currently have today, and how do your coworkers, companies in the industry look at you as an asset when it comes to potentially hiring you to be a part of their company? Let's get into the show. So we talk about pride and ownership of the equipment. Something my very first senior subsea told me one time was, if you take care of your equipment will take care of you. As a former QA inspector in the Navy, when we took stuff apart, it had to be documented, photographed, traceability to the nth degree. And then when we cleaned the equipment, we had to make sure that it was spotless. And something I think is interesting is in today's world, there's a lot of people who don't take complete ownership of the work that they do. They don't take pride in the work that they do. They just want to kind of half-ass it. BOP gets up on deck. We talk about drilling BOPs. BOP gets up on deck. First thing you have to do is flush it, open and inspect, get it all good and cleaned. But there's so many times when I was on the rigs where I'd go and the bonnets would be open. I'd say, hey, are they ready to be inspected? And guys would say, yeah, absolutely, they're ready to go. And I'd go in there and I'd stick my hand in there and my hand would come out with mud and cuttings and just trash. And it's like, guys, I thought we said that we were going to open and inspect these. And it's like, well, yeah. But it's like, guys, I want to have it so clean that you could actually eat off it. We need to be able to inspect it. We need to see if there's any damage. How are we going to do that if it's just got stuff all over it? Unfortunately, that level of ownership and that level of pride in the work, I think, is missing in today's workplace. And it's at all levels. I'm not just talking about subsea. It can be mechanics, electricians. It could be drill guys. It could be marine department. It doesn't matter the department. But for me, if you want to take that level of ownership, if you want to have that level of ownership, your quality of work, that's where it starts. If I'm going to take something apart and I'm going to inspect it, I'm going to put it back together and I'm going to retest it, I'm going to put it back into use, 100%, 100% of the time. We can't be cutting corners and try to expect things to work out the way they're supposed to. When we talk about quality control and craftsmanship, it's that level of detail, that level of ownership. How much pride do you have in the work that you do? Are you someone who, when you wash your car, you do the entire car, but you leave the tires? Are you someone who does the entire car, but doesn't do the windows, doesn't vacuum the interior? Does your level of ownership cover 100%? Are you an 80 or 90% guy? When you're on the rig doing your inspections, are you doing it to 100%? Are you looking for every possible thing that could possibly fail? Are you doing your PMs to 100%? Are you that guy that goes, I've done enough, I'm good? The reason I want to talk about quality control, craftsmanship, level of ownership, is at the end of the day, it all comes down to your reputation. And for me as a business owner, when I get a CV that comes across my desk, we talked about it before in the marketing and who's in your profile and that type of stuff. But something that you need to think about is all it takes is one phone call. One phone call that can completely wipe you out in this industry. What I mean by that is if your reputation for not being someone that does quality work is what's preceding you, it's going to be awfully hard to get back in the game. Now, does that mean you can't have a bad situation at one company and then completely turn your career around? Absolutely. But that hustle and grind and doing whatever it takes is going to be something that has to be internally driven, and you can't be looking for a handout from somebody else. So for me, this daily grind, I want you to think about a couple of things. What is your level of ownership when you do your work? Are you an 100% guy? Are you an 80% guy? Are you a 90% guy? Hell, are you a 99% guy? That level of ownership and craftsmanship, is what's going to dictate the quality of your work. If you're someone that goes above and beyond what's supposed to be done, not only doing the work, but learning about how the equipment works, you're going to start becoming a subject matter expert, and your need in the industry is going to be much greater. People are going to want you to be a part of their team. So for me, this daily grind, it's all about the reputation, and it's all about what is it that you bring to the industry and what is it that the industry sees when they look back at you. So just something to think about.